What is up, gang? Coach Darius here, and I want to welcome you all to the Just Can't Fail show. And I'm your host, Coach Darius. Today, we're going to be. This is the show where we turn failures into lessons and lessons into success. And so, I want to thank you all for being here. I'm your host, Coach Darius Wilson, and I'm really excited to bring on today's guest, Jason Schroeder. And I will get into that a little bit. All right. So, gang, in the meantime, though, please, let's make sure that you head over to streamyard.com/Facebook because before you comment, let us know who you are so we can shout you out and let us know where you are tuning in from. And that way, you're just not a Facebook user, but you're an actual name here. All right. So, thank you all. I hope you all are having a blessed Treat Yourself Thursday and that you have filled your cup today. And that way you can serve from a full overflown cup. All right, gang. And so remember, please let us know where you're tuning in from. If you are watching live or you're watching the replay, please make sure that you tune in and let us know. And so, as I said, we're going to be bringing to the stage shortly Jason Schroeder. This guy is a coach of mine, and I want to say I credit him and his team with like really getting me back to the level of fitness that I am very pleased and happy with. Kicking things off 2 years ago at this point, just kind of reprioritizing my personal fitness. As I said before in one of our previous streams, not that I ever fell off from it, but it wasn't as high up on my priority list. It was always I would take care of everyone else, and then I would get my workout in when there was time. And so started that time, I really reconfigured my schedule. I blocked that time off, and I made sure that I can have that time starting at 5 p.m. And so where there was no appointments available, you cannot contact me at that time. And so that was my time and my appointment with myself. And so I'm really excited for Jason Schroeder. He goes by Big J. And so just a little bit about Jay. Jay is the co-founder of Brazen Athletics and also the founder of Black House, which is the gym I was a part of in Jersey City. Jay is a former CrossFit athlete. He participated in the CrossFit Games in 2012 as part of the team. He also qualified as an individual in the CrossFit Games in 2010, 2011, 12, and 13. And so, and now he runs Black House Strength and Conditioning out of Fairfield, New Jersey. And so I am very pleased to have worked with this guy. And I do want to make sure I shout out Lee Wang, one of our Indie Grove comrades and very good friend of mine. I do want to credit him for making the connection with myself and the team over at Black House. And so it was the best decision that I made at that time in my life when it came to my fitness. And I'm pleased for, I stand here now with at greater strengths than I was at my like prime peak when I was 21, 22 years old playing college football. And so I really, in better mobility, which is the big piece, much better mobility and movement now than I'd had 15 years ago at this point, playing, college football. And so, but gang, let's make sure we head over to streamyard.com, /Facebook. And with that being said, if you can give us some likes, some thumbs up. If you're seeing this, please share this with anyone in your network. That way everyone elevates together as a unit, you and the rest of your gang and the rest of your crew. All right, gang. So without further ado, let's bring in Jason Schroeder. Jay, huge round of applause, my man. Thank you so much for being here. I'm really excited. I shared with the people how I really wanted to credit you and your team for getting me to a level of strength and conditioning that now at 38, I move better. I'm stronger, or just as strong, and some lifts stronger, especially in the Olympic lifts, much stronger now than I was and my sort of peak performance playing college football, D1 college football. So, and I credit that to you all, you and your team over at Black House, and I want to thank you for that, my man.
Well, you did. You came in with a strong foundation, so I don't want you to give me too much credit. Let it be known that Darius came in. He came in hot, and we were excited to have him because, in the health and fitness arena, you don't get a Division I football player walking in, and I think one of the things that was nice to have with you in the gym is that you are a tremendous athlete. I was very, very surprised that a fellow gym owner walked into another gym because, you and I our fitness is our life. And for you to go to another area of fitness and say, hey, I want to get into some Olympic lifting and I want to get into some barbell work, and you probably did a lot of that in college. But we we were working with a strong foundation with you, and I feel like I was just as lucky to work with you. So we had a good time, and it was awesome to see you grow.
Awesome. But thank you so much. I appreciate that so much. And so that kind of brings me to the path in which, how we which you touched on, how we came across. And so, working at Indy Grove, there's always, a bunch of entrepreneurs and independent employees that may work from home. And so Lee was one of those guys who was a good friend of mine. We have always chatted up about, sneakers and sports and all of those things. And he decided to join your gym, and I'm really very thankful for him for sort of tagging me along and sharing his great experience. So shout out to Lee as well for
shout out to Lee.
making it happen. So Jay, we're going to jump right in, my man, to our rapid fire. I'm really excited. You have some concepts that I really dig, and I'm excited to hop into those, especially around mindset and perspective. And this concept on the life game, the long game. And so before we jump into that, I want to jump into our rapid fire, so that way the folks can get to know you a little bit more. And so I don't want you to give too much thought to it. I want you to kind of be instinctive here. And so
all right.
The first question is, name the 3 things that are most important to you, Jay, and why.
I would say that I'm going to give you 2, but they're hand in hand, and they are anchor values for me. My mental and physical health come before anything. And those of the people that are in my life will 100% back me up. I spend a tremendous amount of time on my physical health, and not just going to the gym. Yeah. I feed my body with nutrient dense material. I'm diligent about taking my supplements, my vitamins. I don't take any really supplements, but I take vitamin supplements. Physically, I'm in the gym every day. I'm 42 years old, and I am still lifting and pushing just as hard as I ever was. And my message is that it's that important to me that it's become my mission to translate that to as many people as possible. And my mental health is super important to me. I've struggled with acute anxiety and depression for nearly half of my life. And it's super important to me that my mental health, my heart, my soul, my spirit are strong every day. And I practice, people say, well, you meditate. Well, what does that mean? Well, I don't know if meditation really means the same thing to a lot of people. What it means to me is that I am mindful throughout my day. I don't know if I can necessarily clear my mind completely of thought. I think that meditation for me and mindfulness for me is being able to be calm in the eye of in the storm. When it's difficult, I want to be calm, and that to me is really important to me. And the third thing is surrounding myself with people that are like-minded. I really want people in my life that, really lift me up and take me places, and I do the same for them. So there are other values that I have, but those 3 are really important to me: my mental, physical well-being, and surrounding myself with people who are who want to improve, who want to get better. And I think it's important that we start. I would like to see society, it's a long, big task to ask human beings and society to start prioritizing those things over. We both know we're entrepreneurs, Darius. We know that money is important. We need it to survive. You got some babies at home you have to feed, and it's important. But with if we don't have the strong these strong systems in place, like I mentioned before, the mental health, the physical health, surrounding yourself with good people, that money doesn't matter. So those things are really important to me.
Yeah, awesome, man. And why is mindset important?
Well, my first gym that I opened, Brazen Athletics, who I opened with my ex-partner Christy Link, who you know well. We fought really hard to open that gym, and my past prior to opening that gym was if I could control my thoughts, if I could control my reactions to things, if I could manage and become emotionally regulated, I knew that I was able to accomplish a lot. And through I always talk about to my athletes, it's not just reps and sets with the bar, it's reps and sets with your mind. Yeah. And I recognized at a young age that a strong mindset, a healthy mindset, not necessarily a Tony Robbins positive mindset where I think I can, walk on hot coals. It's just getting up every day and saying, I'm gonna fill my cup up so I can fill other people's cup. And you mentioned that in the beginning, and you were thankful for people and saying, hey, look, I want to fill my cup up so I can fill you up. And the people that are in my life that's super important to me. So my mental health is affecting everyone around me. It affects my business. It affects everything. And if I'm well, then my business is going to run well. My friends are going to be well. I'm going to be well. And I think it starts in the mind. And I mean, I'll show you here. There's the tattoo right there. It says ability through stability. And what that means is the ability of the body is revealed through the stability of the mind. Yeah. And that's super important to me, and I got that tattoo when I was very young, and it's super important to me. And I'm sure you can relate to that as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Jay, what characteristics do you feel are most important for someone that's on this journey, right? Whether it's the fitness journey, weight loss journey, life, trying to improve to get better every day. What characteristics do you feel are most important?
I think the first thing that comes to my mind immediately is patience. Mm. A lot of people want what they want, and they want it now. And in technology, literally you can go on Amazon and order a product and have it tomorrow. Yeah. And in our urban environment, you can literally, I can order my oatmeal tonight and it might be here tomorrow. And I want people my message would be to be patient in your journey. And we call them small victories. Yeah. And a lot of people they see what I have, they see 3 gyms, they see, the life that I live, and they want it now. They go, how did you get there? And I said, well, we got to go back 25 years of discipline and hard work. So those things come into play, but I was patient along the way. I'm patient. The long game is where we benefit from life. Everybody wants something tomorrow. Be patient, put the work in, and good things will come.
100%. Love it. Jay, what is your favorite quote? Did you give us some insight already?
I have, I think, Darius, I love quotes, but I think if we're going to apply this to fitness, it's strength takes a lifetime.
Strength. Oh, I love it.
And
we're going to delve deep into that, because I if I can say it, I effing love that. And so we're going to definitely delve deep into that.
Sure.
And so my final rapid fire, what are some of your best daily rituals? I know you speak a lot about getting yourself to this, I don't want to say peak, but this optimum state, so to speak, mentally, physically, emotionally. What are some of your best daily rituals?
I would have to say right now, I am you know, you look at me and you see this guy with tattoos, and I don't look like I would do something like this, but I have been being very mindful with connecting with nature recently, and I have been going on hikes, and
Awesome.
I have been just connecting in the woods every day and taking my dogs out in the woods, because I feel like there's so much chaos in the world, and it sounds like, you know, people are like, oh, this guy's granola, this guy's a hippie, you know, for going in the woods. But we need to connect with nature. We need to get back to where we started. And I feel that, you know, as I got older, if somebody said to me, hey, Jason, you know, the trees, we're all connected. I believe that, you know, and we can talk about brazen and my path with that, but I'm a big believer in the tree of life. You
Yeah.
know, there is, you know, there is no color to me. You're not black, I'm not white. We're just human, you know, and I want to connect with that, and I want to connect with when I go into the woods, I feel like I'm just connected, and it's
Yeah.
super important for me to go into the woods and say, look, I'm nobody. I'm nobody.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
here by luck. I got here by luck. 1 in 400 trillion shot that I was born, and I'm in the woods, and just I'm being mindful when I'm doing things, and that hiking keeps me in a state of just slow it down. You know, I try to slow things down every day. And that's a ritual for me, would be to go hiking and slow my mind down and just say, look, we don't have to move that fast.
Yeah.
Everything's going to happen in due time. So I think just, I'm very, and I'm sure you can relate to this, Darius. It's always, I'm diligent with my food. That's a ritual that will never go away. I'm diligent
Yeah.
with my self-care every day, which is my physical and mental health. So if you catch me any time of the day, you're going to see me with, you know, my nutritious food. People say, oh, Jay's always carrying his egg whites with him. He's always carrying his chicken with him. But when I'm 50 and I'm still, you know, I'm still looking tight, hopefully, you know, I feel healthy. I want to,
Yeah.
you know, I tell people a lot that I don't want to die in a nursing home. You
Yeah.
know, I don't want to die in a nursing home. I want to die at home with my wife and my kids, and be in a joyful place, and die
Yeah.
tired, not sick. I don't want to die
Yeah.
sick. I want to die tired.
Yeah. Um, I love that quote. You're full of quotes. I know we're going to have, but I really do love and that was something that really resonated with me. You know, being a part of the gym, and it's like this long game, this lifetime game, and that was one of the quotes that really stood out. I know that was on. Oh man, what is the Brazen Cup? The shirt of the Brazen Cup that was on the back of it, and I really dug that. So
Yeah.
awesome, Jay. So give me a quick. How did you get into? What was your path to, you know, where you are now, coaching? If you can give me a quick synopsis of what that was, your path to where you are now, that would be great.
So I grew up. Fortunately, my mom was a personal trainer growing up. She was a
Ah,
she was a Reebok Step certified instructor, and
oh, nice.
I am a Reebok Step certified instructor. Except it's expired. You know what I'm
I
saying?
got you.
It's a little. It's definitely expired. So I grew up in you know, I grew up in the YMCA. My mom was teaching. You know, she was a personal trainer growing up, and you know, I got into fitness not in the way that a lot of people think that you get into fitness. I got into fitness because it was a coping mechanism for me. It was a way to get out of my head and feel strong and feel confident. So I started very young working out, you know, in my early, my grandfather was in the Marines, and he bought me my first, I don't know if you remember this, Darius, but back in the day, they used to have plastic weight sets with concrete in them, and
Yes.
these little clips and these little bars, and like, it was just some dumbbells, and it was, you know, I think they have them now. You fill them up with water, but they had
Yeah.
concrete in them when I was around, and I would go do 10 bench press in my floor in my bedroom, and then I would go and flex in the mirror, you know. And I had 3 sisters, so the bathroom was not readily available all the time. But I started, you know, training, and I was a swimmer growing up most of my life. 19 years I swam, and I've always had fitness in my life. And then, you know, in my early 20s, for about 6 years, I drove to people's houses
Yeah.
in my ex-wife's, Christy, Her truck, we put a cap on the back of the truck. I put 2 rowers, 2 boxes. I had dumbbells, kettlebells, and this was back in 2006.
Okay.
2006, I had 2 rowers in my truck. This was people were like, what are those things you're pulling out of the truck? I was bringing functional fitness to people's houses 15 years ago, 16 years ago. And I started doing that. I was driving to, Darius, you know what it's like. You got 20 clients a week. That's a lot of personal training.
Yeah.
20 clients a week is a lot of time. And I had about 25 that I was driving to. I was going to their house. I was bringing the rower into their house, into their basement while they're, mom was making dinner. These were busy families that just couldn't leave the house. So I brought fitness into their homes.
Yeah.
I did that for about 6 years. And then Christy and I, when we were 29, we started to think about what we wanted to do. And I said, listen, I want to open a gym. I want to continue this. And we found CrossFit in 2009. We were out in California, and we fell in love with CrossFit, and it just never stopped. I've been doing that for that long. I was personal training when I was 16 years old. I've been doing this my whole life, and that's why my methodology, it's been the same my whole life, and it's practice the mundane, practice the boring stuff, get really good at simple stuff, and I think in the fitness arena, there's a lot of these new movements coming up, and like everybody's practicing these fancy movements. And I say, get good at a push-up.
Yeah.
Get good at an air squat. Get good at something simple, and then do the fancy stuff. Do the barbell work. All that other snatch and clean and all the stuff. They get good at the basic stuff, and I've always stuck to that methodology my whole life.
Yeah. Awesome. And it's paying off, man. It's paying dividends.
Yeah.
You're in phenomenal shape at 42. And I think that's a testament to this drive to do the little things and master the mundane, but also this drive around self-improvement. And so with that being said, I know you shared with me, you shared it, on Instagram and different things like that. With you just shared here with the anxiety, depression. What are some of the things, and I think there's a lot of people that, especially with the time that we're in right now, Jay, with pandemic. Yes.
Darius, are people commenting there? Is that what that is?
Yes. So people are commenting, and we put it here on the live screen. Live stream.
Ebony, yes. Get good at the basics, Ebony. Get good at the basics.
Yes. So Ebony is one of our members who she's someone else that really have taken and played this long game. And so kudos to both of you all for doing that. But Jay, if we can talk, a little bit about, I don't like to look at these things as but this is something where it's an opportunity for some folks to get some tactical things to help them overcome. I like to call it those less empowered states. And so if there's anything, if you can share maybe some things that you do, and I know this is something, you spoke about being able to slow down your mind, being able to control your response, respond to things, don't always react to things. This was something that was huge for you early on, but, as you and Christy founded and started up Brazen. What are some things that people can do to help them during this time now to kind of get over the hump, that obstacle that they may be facing?
And we're talking about in any facet of
yes,
of
sir.
Life's journey, in any facet of life's journey.
Yes. When it comes to anxiety, when it comes to maybe depression, what are some things that you have dealt with that you have been able to overcome, or that you're doing, you're maintaining? What are some of your practices, and how can you put that into, put it into a digestible form so someone can take this and implement tonight and have some success with it?
Yeah, I have struggled with with mental illness my whole life, and didn't realize it until the later part of my life in the 20s. I didn't know what was wrong with me. I was a child that was, had really not a lot of direction.
Thank you, Kimmy.
Yes, thank you, Kimmy. I didn't have a lot of direction. I had a troubled, some things happened when I was younger that kind of shaped me. And I will tell you this. if anyone is struggling mentally, there are a couple things that I remind myself of. I gravitate toward what I have and not what I don't have.
Yeah.
I focus on what I have. I have the capabilities and the accessibility to do whatever it is that I want. I'm in this thing. I'm here. I'm alive. A lot of people in the mental health arena don't want to refer to broken. You don't want to say broken. I'm not broken, but sometimes I feel fucking broken. Oh, I
Yeah.
swore. I'm sorry, Dareth.
Hey, listen, it's all
I'm gonna say
good.
I retract it. But I focus on what I have. I have an attitude of gratitude, and I just am always thankful for breathing. I'm
Yeah.
thankful for. I took a picture of my fridge the other day, right?
Yeah.
And I said it was stacked with egg whites and chicken and salad and vegetables, and I said I didn't have this growing up. I feel very lucky to have a full fridge. And I think that a lot of people, especially where we live in the United States, people are very, very ungrateful, not because they're trying to be a-holes, they're just, they don't have that clear vision. And I look at my fridge and I say, damn, I got a lot of food in my fridge. There's a lot of people in the world that don't have food, and people say, oh, Jay, come on. You thankful for the food in your fridge? Yes, I am. I'm thankful to be alive. I'm thankful to have my capabilities. And whoever's struggling with depression and anxiety, just know that you are alive. You have the power. I'm not religious, but you have the power of the Holy Spirit in your heart, in your mind. I'm not a big churchgoer, but there is something bigger than us out there, Darius, and we have an opportunity to be here. We have an opportunity to strive. We have an opportunity to grow and get and become anything that we want. I think we listen to the noise of other people and what goes on. And I think that in social media, people are like, oh, you got to block out the noise. And it becomes like this statement that you're like, oh, I am blocking out the noise. Well, blocking out the noise is not just saying, oh, I don't care about what you say. I don't care. It's
Yeah.
about hearing the noise, hearing the things that come into your play, and you don't let them bother you. You practice, this, Darius, I'm going to keep hitting you with quotes, but here they go,
Bring them on. I love it.
one of my favorites is, it's not the problem. What is it? It's how you handle the problem.
Right.
Because if you try and have a solution for every single problem that you have, you're gonna kill yourself.
Yeah.
Because there's the solution for every problem is gonna vary. The only consistency in solving your problems is your emotional reaction to the problem. Are you in a mindset to say, hey, I'm very thankful for what I have. I have an attitude of gratitude. I'm so lucky to have a fridge full of food. I have my beautiful dog, my house. I have so many good things, because if you go to the slums of India, there's some really bad places in there, and people are poor. I'm talking dirt poor, and they are happy because they have their family, they have their children, they have their health, they're alive, they're thriving. And we're upset because somebody got a new car. We're upset because somebody has something that we don't have.
Yeah.
It's always comparing. And then when you compare, you're losing your joy. You lose that joy. I see it in the camera here, but that's tattooed on me.
Yeah.
I love my life. I love my life. I love my life.
Yeah.
And whether I'm broke, whether I have 3 gyms or no gyms, or a ton of money and no money, because I've been through both.
Yeah.
I'm happy with my life, and I have that attitude of gratitude. I think that's so important.
Awesome. Jay, why do you coach?
Why do I coach?
Yeah.
Because I know that I have a gift, and I need to share it.
Yeah.
I have a gift. I'm gifted to be able to communicate the information that I communicate. I feel very lucky to have the gift that I have. I've been this way. Yes, May, let go and let God. I like that. That's good. I have a gift to teach people. I would go work in finance. I love what I do. You did not start JCF Bootcamp to be like, hey, I'm going to be a millionaire. No, you're not. You're going to struggle as an entrepreneur. You're going to struggle. The money comes in, the money doesn't come out.
The true I guess the facts about entrepreneurship, right?
It's heavy. It's heavy. Being an entrepreneur is, you know what they say about entrepreneurs, Darius, is that we jump out of airplanes and we make the parachute on the way down.
That's about right.
Sometimes, sometimes you just gotta go. I mean,
absolutely.
You and I have talked about business many times, about what you're doing and how you run your business, and it's scary. It's scary being on your own. I know you have a strong team, but it's on you. It's on you.
Yeah, absolutely. Jay, what do you find like your clients struggle with most?
Consistency.
Oh, let's peel this onion. Let's
peel this onion.
Because I think this is I think where we can really give a lot of value here. And so Jay, let's peel this onion. And what is consistency? What does that mean? What does that look like?
I think we can look at consistency from the perspective of how much do you want to take care of yourself? And I think you touched on this with me when we talked earlier. Was I'm trying to remember. It'll come back to me, but I think people need to understand that health is not a hobby. Physical health is not a hobby. This is not like, oh, let's go to the gym so I can get this over with. I don't go to the gym to get it over with. I go to the gym because I want to be there. I love being in the gym. I love it because I love myself. You know what I'm saying? And I'm there consistently. Yeah.
Yeah. And Jay, I want to bridge this gap. Because this is a talk I have a lot with my Fit Pro friends, right? And I think the first initial thing that trainers become trainers and trainers, eventually become coaches and fitness business owners or entrepreneurs is that it starts with this love for working out, right? But as we both know, the love for working out don't necessarily translate all the time to many of our members. So I want to bridge this gap. And so what do you feel is the gap between having this love? Because I think if we polled many people, they would probably say that, I know I should be working out. I do love myself. I do these things. But for some reason, there's a drop off when it comes to that sort of thing matching up with the action. Does that make sense?
Sure.
Right. And so what do you feel like? What can you give the people of okay, we know we should love ourselves, and most of us do love ourselves, and so how can we get folks to start shifting their perspective around and starting to embody what it takes to be this healthy, fit person? Because I think many people will want to be healthy and fit, but not everyone is doing the things consistently in order to produce this healthy, fit sort of practice and lifestyle.
Well, one of the things that I try and translate to my athletes, and I've spoken on this for over a decade, and anybody that's been a member at my gym for the past 10 years, or a personal training client or an athlete that I've trained, they will tell you that I have been speaking on this the entire time. And it is, your 401k is not in a bank account. It's right here. This is your 401k right here.
Yeah.
Because here's the deal. Is that people, and the world is full of knowledge, so this may not be something new to somebody, but we spend so much time trying to make money. We're like, let's make the money, let's buy the houses, let's do the things, let's load that 401k up, let's load it up because my company's matching 10%, I'm putting in this, it's going to be at $1 million by the time I'm 40. It's going to be $2 million by the time, whatever, arbitrary number.
Yeah.
But what happens is if you ignore your physical and mental health, There are stages in the brain. There's stages in the brain at 10, at 20, at 30, at 40, at 50, at 60, at 70. The brain is constantly changing. And if you are not prepared for those changes, you are not going to catch up. And that's when depression sets in. That's when anxiety leads to depression. So I say this. I say, build the 401k, right? Build the bank account, build the 401k, but build this 401k because in 30 years, the average cost of 1 year in a nursing home, 1 year in a nursing home will cost $300,000 to stay in a nursing home for 1 year. If you have $1 million in your 401k, you got 3 years, my friend. You got 3.1 years. So I say build the account. But here, this is my 401k right here. My heart is healthy. My body is healthy. My mind is healthy. I am prepared for the mind, the brain to evolve at 40, at 50, at 60, at 70. And people need to know that the brain has a longer lifespan than the body. And if we're not taking care of this, you're just going to spend that 401k on keeping yourself alive. And I don't want to spend my 401k bank account on keep myself alive. I want to buy a house in South Carolina and be on the beach. And that's what I want to do.
Where are you going? Are you going to Myrtle Beach or are you going to Hilton Head?
I think I might go to Hilton Head. I'm more of a Hilton Head guy, I think. I don't know.
That's a great choice. That's a great choice.
Depends on how much money I have in my 401k.
Well, we know that this 401k is going to be healthy and wealthy and strong.
Yes,
sir.
Yes. I might have a small house, but I'm gonna be fit.
There we go. Health is the greatest wealth, right? And I really hope this is landing on minds and hearts after going through this pandemic. And I know I say after going through it as if it's not, we're just at the end of the beginning. And so with that being said, Jay, so if we can take that a step farther, and we discussing consistency.
Yes.
What could you give someone? What made that, for you, consistency may look like 6 days a week in the gym, 7 days a week in the gym. But what can someone, what could that look like for someone that maybe just getting started, maybe someone that's more of an intermediate, and then what can that look like for someone that may be advanced?
So I think for people that are just starting in the fitness arena, setting unrealistic expectations is you're setting yourself up for failure. You're saying I'm going to go to the gym every day, 7 days a week. No, that's not realistic. Yeah. That's not realistic. That's not realistic for me or you. And 100%. Fitness is our life. You know what I'm saying? Like it's in the way. I think I tell my athletes and I tell my clients and everybody I train, I say, that's a good one. Have realistic expectations, right? So is to start with, instead of drinking coffee in the morning, the first thing, why don't you have a glass of water? Start one healthy habit. Go to the gym 2 days a week. Go 2 days a week. Go Tuesday and Thursdays. Yeah. Stay consistent with that for 3 weeks. And if you can stay consistent with that for 3 weeks, go to the gym 3 days a week. And then if you can find consistency with that, maybe 3 days a week might be good for you for a couple of weeks because you're like, you know what, I'm trying to manage my schedule. My kids are, I got to pick my kids up at this time. My wife can't come here. Set realistic expectations for yourself because what happens is you have this thing called expectation hangover. Yeah. Is that you expect this thing to happen, and when it doesn't happen, you get upset yourself and you're hungover from it. It's like having one too many tequilas at night. It's like the next day you're feeling good. The night before you're like, tequila, I love my drink. And then the next morning you're paying for it. Yeah. So what happens is that if you say I'm going to go to the gym 5 days a week and you do that for 2 weeks and then it turns into 4, then to 3, then to 2, then to 1, then to none, we didn't build a strong platform before we started because the pyramid can only be as high as its base. If the base is wide, then the pyramid can be tall. I'm saying if I commit to myself 2 days a week and I can find consistency in that and I feel good about that, then I can add 1 day. The problem is that people beat themselves up. They go, oh, I miss Saturday, Sunday. Oh, I'm not going Monday. This thing ain't working for me. This ain't working for me. I ate good all week and then I screwed up and I had chocolate cake on Saturday. No, you do not throw away everything for one mistake. Like that's like saying you get divorced because your wife yelled at you for not putting socks wherever the fuck. Like, you're gonna have problems. You gotta deal with the problem. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, so I said, set realistic expectations and slow down. Slow down. You know, again, we go back to what the beginning was. It's like everybody wants everything now. They look at me and they say, Jay, you're 42. You're jacked. Like you look at Darius, he's jacked. You know, how did you get there? Well, I didn't start yesterday. This is 25 years of work, you know, and it's like people love to put those things on. They love to do it to professional athletes. Oh,
right.
He was born with it. You played D1 because you just had it. You're like, wait a minute, hold on. I if you want to come back to me to the schoolyard when I was putting in work, you know, going to practice 3 hours a day and putting that work in, you know, then you'll see what it is. But just have realistic expectations. Start with one little small victory and find consistency, and don't beat yourself up if you screw up one time or two times or three times. Learn from that and say, hey, I'm gonna get back on track. I missed one day. I had one bad meal. It's okay.
Yeah. And that's perfect, Jay. And so touching on, you know, so the biggest issue or challenge that you find with your members are consistency. And and how are ways that you help them overcome it? You know, yes. Go.
I lead by example. I lead by example.
Yeah.
I have a social media page where I post myself working out. I'm lifting weight. It's nothing special. But if I'm going to ask my members to do something, if I'm going to ask my athletes to do something, I better be damn well sure that I'm doing it myself. I cannot ask my athletes to push and lift heavy and commit themselves to movement if I can't do it. Yeah. So how do I get them? I lead by example. I talk the talk, I walk the walk. You know what I'm saying? It's like I can't yes, Abdul, that is tough. I want to acknowledge Abdul because 5, 6, I hear you, brother. The middle ground is tough. The middle ground is tough. I'm sorry to break from that, but I just wanted to address that because that was a good statement. It is tough. The middle ground is tough, but Abdul, get back on that horse, brother. Get back on that horse. Just go back one day. Start with tonight, Abdul. Start with 30 push-ups tonight. Just do 30 push-ups tonight. I swear to you that is the start to get back to middle ground. Just get down, do a couple arm swings. You know, Darius, warm them up. Get on the ground and do 30 push-ups.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And that's what I do. So if I tell people that I want them to do good push-ups and come to the gym every day and work out hard, I worked out with class tonight. And you know, I got on the barbell and I'm pushing hard and I'm slapping butts and giving high fives and let's go. You know, like we're back in school. You know, I love that. And if you're not leading by example, you know, how will you expect other people to do what you want them to do if you can't even do it yourself?
Right.
You know.
Right. 100%. Awesome, man. And so I want to speak about this concept that you have. Before I get to that, two things came up.
Yes.
We spoke about motivation. Kimmy had mentioned motivation, and then expectations. And this is a conversation I have a ton with my wife, who, by the way, shout out to her. She has been on it, and it's been like 2 or 3 years for her. Who she has really turned the curve. Like, sis shows up like every single day she's in the gym, you know, and so it's really beautiful to have our conversation has totally changed from about like, what can I do to lose weight to like, we talk about performance and we talk about weights, the weights that she's using, you know? Yeah. And so that's been really great to see that transition with her. And so, but we talk about a lot about expectations. And I want to speak about like, what is your take on motivation? And I'll share mine after you, but like, I'm curious to know, what is your take on motivation? And so let's start with your take around motivation. And then I want us to coach, help Kimmy. She mentioned something about motivation. And so I would love to hear your take on that.
Well, if you asked me this question 10 years ago, it would have been a different answer. And now my answer to you now is action precedes motivation. And that is not that's not a quote to go, wow, that motivates me. It's scientific. You cannot motivate anyone to do anything. They have to do it within themselves.
Yeah.
And believe you me, the amount of therapy that I've been to work to improve myself as a human being. So when I say I go to therapy, I'm not crazy. Like I think every human should go to therapy and work on themselves and work with someone who helps them question themselves. And the job of the therapist is to ask questions and ask the client, me, questions.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that? Do you think that's a good idea? Would you think that you're going to benefit from that? Because critical thinking questions are huge, because I can't motivate anybody to do anything. And one thing I grew up with is that God cannot help you if you do not want to help yourself.
Yeah.
You have free will. And all it takes is what I just said to Abdul. You don't have, if you sit on bed and you say, I'm going to do it, 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 I'm going to do it. No, you just got to do it. Take action. And Abdul, do 30 push-ups tonight.
Yeah.
Do five push-ups on the minute for 10 minutes and start moving. It's action. Just take one little step. The leap of faith is seeing that there is no step and taking the step and going, I'm going to take one small step and just trust that I took the necessary steps to get where I'm at right now. And now I got to take that big leap of faith, and I'm going to take that step, and it's just action. Now, motivation is different than inspiration.
Yeah.
When I'm inspired by somebody, like I'm inspired by you, you're a business owner. You're successful because you are consistent. You not only do you run a business, you still have a family at home. You have your wife at home. So there's a lot of responsibilities there. So you balance those things. So you inspire me to do that. But to motivate someone to do something, I don't know if it's possible to motivate somebody to do something. You can lead by example and hope that they follow. But to motivate somebody, I don't know, man. I've tried to motivate people my whole life and it just doesn't work. I'm sure you've been in positions like that too. You're like, come on. And now I'm like, now I'm like, you either want it or you don't want it. I'll help you. I'll hold your hand, but you gotta run with me. But I'm not dragging you with me. I'm not doing that. I do it for a little bit, but then you gotta get up. I can't be carrying you around.
Yeah, 100%. So a couple of things I want to touch on, Abdul. The biggest thing is when we do fall off track is like shrink the time between getting back on the saddle. Like shrink that time significantly. Don't give it time. It will continue to expand as much as you give it. Okay. So like really try to shrink that time. So that's a great, like get started, 30 push-ups and just knock it out. Don't give yourself a time frame, whatever, like just get moving. Right. Mm-hmm. And also notice, Abdul, like one time, right, will always be 0 times, even though it may not be that 5 to 6. Even if you just get one in, right, and don't put up a 0, that's going to go a long ways, right? And so, like, just get started. I know it seems super simple. It is. Simple things are not always easy, but you just got to shrink that time and just get going, okay? And then motivation is, I think when it comes, and you really touched on something, you said some really great stuff, Jay, around our 401k. And how our health and fitness is not a hobby. And so I think too many times we have this mindset around fitness as that it is optional. Like I can do this, anytime it's time to start cutting things because, financially it's like the first thing people cut are the gyms. And I'm not here to say that whether that's right or wrong. I just think
Yes, you are, Darius. Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
But I just don't think we have the right frame when we're thinking about it. Because what we are doing is that we're looking at it as a hobby. We're looking at it as if it is optional. And one of the biggest things that I wish I can put into my members' minds and heart is that, like, if 2020 has not shown us anything, is that we have to be more serious and proactive around our health and our well-being, right? Physically, mentally, and emotionally. And we have to play the long game. It's just period. Like we have to come to grips that no one wants to be happy or healthy for just a certain period of their life. This is something that we want to have forever. And so we have to So we have to stop playing the game of like, I'm motivated, I will do it. I'm not motivated, I won't do it. Right? Because
Yes.
most of us are not always motivated to go to work, but we show up every single time. And I
Yep.
think we show up every single time because we have that tangible thing, which is the house over our head, the bills are paid, food in the refrigerator, right? And so we have to figure out a way to reframe the same situation, the same thing when it comes to our health, right? And so we have to understand, like, even though it may be like what we're doing now, we're working out now for the 50, 60, 70-year-old individual, or not right now, right? And so it's no different than stacking your money for your 401k. You don't
Yes.
see that right away. You're putting it aside. So when you do need it, it's no different than when we talk about our health and our wellness and our overall well-being. All right. And so that's what when it comes to like motivation. Jay, was there anything else you wanted to add there when speaking about motivation? If not, I definitely want to touch base about expectations.
No, let's talk about expectation.
Yeah. So what you mentioned that, like, what are you coming across, or what do you feel? Where do we struggle most as humans when it comes to expectation?
I think what happens is that we start comparing ourselves to other people, and
Yeah.
we expect to be able to perform like every other human that we see, and we compare. And then when we do compare and we don't live up to that expectation, we get down on ourselves and we say, "Oh man, see, I knew I couldn't do it. I knew I
Yeah.
couldn't do it." And you're comparing yourself to somebody who's been working on something for 2 decades, 3 decades for something, and then you go try it and you fail, and you're like, "See, I'm not good enough." So
Yeah.
people expect to be something that they're not,
Yeah.
because a lot of people don't have direction in their life. They don't have a solid plan in their life, so they just say, "Hey, I'm going to go try this."
Yeah.
Following someone else's path is going to get you lost and confused, because you're like, who am I? You got to find out what it is that you love. And there's so much out there on social media with people saying, "Oh, you want to live that yacht life and get a Maserati in this fancy car. How about just being a good example for your kids? How
Yeah.
about just being a good husband? How about
Yeah.
getting up every day and saying, 'Babe, I love you. I want to work on my relationship with you. I want to get better,' and helping your son and your daughter, and being that way." Like, I think a lot of people have this expectation that life is about so much, acquiring so much and doing those things, that they fall short of what they really love.
Yeah. Jay, what does failure mean to you?
So that failure to me,
Yeah, what is failure to you? Like, what does
oh
that mean?
shit, it used to be scary.
Yeah.
It used to be scary. That
Yeah.
used to be scary for me. Now it's like a warm bath.
It's part of. Do you view it as part of the process?
Yes, you can't just
Okay.
you don't just walk into that. We might as well talk about it. Since COVID hit in March, I have had to close 2 of my 3 gyms, and I'm closing another one on Sunday.
Yeah.
And it's a tough time for me right now.
Yeah.
It's tough. I started this gym with Christy over 10 years ago, and we just got hit hard. I was in Jersey City. My rent was $11,000 a month in Jersey City.
Yeah.
And I just couldn't. I went 2 months and that was it. I got crushed. And up here in the suburbs, it's difficult because, a lot of people in the suburbs, people have kids, they get nervous, they don't want to be around other people. Schools are
Yeah.
having a tough time right now, just getting teachers to come in to work,
Yeah.
and it's like, so I've been through a lot of failure in my life. I have lost a lot. People look at loss like it's a bad thing. No, everything in life is a lesson. Everything in life is a lesson. It's a beautiful, beautiful lesson.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that losing another human is easy, or losing your dream. Like, I'm losing my gym in 3 days. I have to close this gym on Sunday. And it's I'm just trying to keep it together right now. People keep asking me when I come into the gym, they say, "Jay, is everything good? Like, it doesn't seem like you're closing the gym." I said, "Well, am I going to come in here angry and depressed and
Yeah.
sad? Or am I going to come in here and be resilient? You know, every Time Magazine posted the front of their cover, and it made me so angry, because it just feeds into the narrative that life is shit, and it's not. And at the cover of 2020 magazine, it said 2020 worst year ever. And I was like, worst year ever?
Yeah.
What? You sat home and ordered $3,000 worth of food on Amazon, and you got the worst year ever? There were something like 92 million Americans on unemployment, making more money than they were making before they had unemployment. I'm not saying there aren't people that didn't struggle. I'm not diminishing that. But I lost a gym in June, and I'm going to lose another gym in 3 days. I haven't collected a paycheck in 9 months. I have had to take on so much responsibility. And what do I say to 2020? It is the year that taught me how to be resilient. It taught me how to adapt. It taught me how to look at failure in the face and say, let's go. You're going to come again. You every time you come, you think you're going to beat me, and I get right back up. So, you know, I just learn. You know, it sounds cliche, but we don't fail. We only learn. You know, a lot of people get, they get, you know, they hit one obstacle or one more difficult path, and they say, oh, this ain't for me. Oh, this ain't for me. I mean, there are people in this world. We need to go back to telling our kids that there's starving people in China or somewhere, because that's how it was when I grew up. Like, if you didn't eat your vegetables, mom was like, there are starving people in China. You know, it sounds like serious, but it's funny at the same time. But like, we need to understand that as humans, that like there are people that are not, you know. Let me touch on one thing that's really been hitting me hard, is that we are so hyper focused on the death of one person in this country. And I'm not saying that any person's death is any less, but we have people in the Sudan that don't have water.
Yeah.
Focused on one person that got shot, you know, somewhere in Oklahoma, whatever, the arbitrary example. We got people that don't have food every day. They're dying. I mean, I think it's like every 19 seconds someone dies in the Sudan. It's a scary place there. We got to have gratitude and say, man, we got a good life. I got a good life. People don't know what struggle is. You don't know what struggle is. You know, I mean, you flush the toilet. You flush fresh water after you pee every time. Then there's people in the Sudan that can't get a cup of water to drink. They would drink the water out of the toilet, let alone flush it down the toilet, you know?
Yeah. Awesome. And so like the lessons from failure, and that's the premise of this show is failure. It's soil, not dirt. Right. And so there's a lot that comes from soil, a lot of nutrients, a lot of growth that takes place from soil. Right. And that's the failure. That's the lessons. And so if we don't have the right perspective on it, and if we don't learn a lesson, then it becomes dirt, then it's nothing. But when we can frame it right and have the right perspective, I truly believe it can help us. And it's, you know, that old cliche of failing forward. The idea is that, you know, what are we learning from the failures and how do we improve moving forward? And Jay, I mean, thank you for sharing that, man. And, you know, I can only imagine, you know, I see the type of leader that you are and the type of owner that you are. And so I know that's very difficult for you. And like I said, man, just thank you for being here in spite of all of these things that you have going on. I think that speaks volumes of the type of character that you are and the type of person you are. So I appreciate that. Jay,
I want to throw one more thing out there, Derek. If anyone is struggling with mental health, if anyone is struggling with mental, everyone has mental health, but if anyone's struggling with mental illness, just know that there's a couple of things I want you to know. You are worth it for being here. Everyone is worth it. Don't ever think that you're not good enough because you're comparing yourself to other people. You are worth it. I'm dead serious. Do not ever think that this life is about, I shouldn't be here. No, you should be here. You should be here. Be in the struggle. I always tell my athletes or friends that I talk to, I say, you're going to struggle in a padded room, in a straitjacket, or you're going to struggle in life. I want to struggle in life. I want the opportunity to fail, because if someone put me in a room with no opportunity, but I was as safe as I could be, take me out of the room. Put
Yeah.
me in the fight, because I want a glorious life, and I want a glorious death. And I just want anybody to know that they're struggling with anxiety or depression or anything. You are worth it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thanks for sharing that, Jay. And so I want to touch on this concept you have that strength takes a lifetime. Tell me more about that. What does that mean?
It means every day we get up, we're fighting.
Yeah.
Every day your feet hit the ground, you're running. And you are fighting. You know, I hate to be it sounds a little heavy, but we're living, but we're slowly dying. And it's a sad thing. You know, we're gonna meet our maker one day. And
Yeah.
that fight every day to live, that fight every day to improve, that fight every day to get better as a human being, there is no goal.
Yeah.
It doesn't, you don't ever reach the fruition. When does it ever stop? It doesn't stop. Getting up at 4:30 in the morning, and Darius, you know this, brother, that's hard.
Oh yeah.
4:30 is not a natural time. That's not I want to be in my bed. I got a nice bed, but I get up because I got something to do that day. I got something to go for. I got something to be here for. And the fight never stops. And the strength is not applicable to just the barbell or dumbbells or whatever running at JCF boot camp. That is the strength, but it is the strength to get up every day and fight your demons and to fight to get what it is that you want. I always say that I am content, but I am never satisfied.
Yeah.
I'm content. I'm not satisfied. I want to go. And that strength takes a lifetime. That means that whatever it took me 10 years to build Brazen.
Yeah.
I'm losing it in 3 days.
Yeah.
I got to get up on Monday and I got to fight again.
Yeah.
I don't ever stop fighting. And that's why it takes your entire life to complete this task. You know, it takes your entire life to get strong. Never stops.
Yes. Awesome. I hate to say it, but I just lost my train of thought.
You're managing a lot. Right? Take your time. You're managing a lot.
Strength. Oh, I know what I want to say. So you spoke in. I want everyone to understand when we talk about demons. Demons don't necessarily have to be like a mental illness. It can be the lack of motivation. It can be the lack of purpose.
Sure.
It can be like just not living with intention and purpose.
Sure.
Just kind of going through every day without any attention. So I don't want us to feel like, you know, procrastination can be a demon.
Yes,
right?
100%.
And like so like understand, like when we talk about demons, we all have them. You know, for me, it is the procrastination demon, right? And so, you know, so like let's make sure we're viewing this through the right lens and understand that like all of these things can be demons, and like we can utilize the you know, I often like to play mind tricks, and like, you know, when my procrastination is day, like I can't let day beat me. I can't let they let them, you know, kind of run the ship. And so that's, you know, any way to kind of reframe things to help you and empower you. Let's make sure that we can do that. Jay, I wanted to ask this question because, like I said, a lot of this is about failure and overcoming failure. And you shared a really big one, a really big obstacle. Like, what's the biggest takeaway that you've learned? You know, I know you spoke about being resilient. 2020 have taught you that and learning how to adapt. You know, you're about to, like you said, losing a dream. Like, how does one bounce back from that? What is the game plan to overcome? And, you know, I want to hear your personal story. I would love for you to put it into context where someone else can take it and learn from that as well.
I'm in the game.
Yeah.
Keep me in the game. Don't put me in the dugout. Don't put me in the locker room. Keep me in the game. And that's how I look at it every day. I'm in the game. I'm lucky. I'm alive. I'm alive, and it's so hard for people to understand that. It's so hard for people to kind of wrap their brain around that. That as long as I have the ability that I have right now, and even if I lost an arm, if I lost a leg, if I lost an eye, if I lost something, I'm still gonna push. Just keep me in the game. And I've said to people before, I've said, if you passed away and you meet your maker and God says, Jason, I'm going to give you one more day back on earth, full 24 hours, but it's going to be the hardest day that you ever had in your life. I say, give it to me. I want it. Because to be alive and to be in the game is a gift that the rainy days, give them back to me. The failure days, give them back to me.
Yeah.
The day that my business partner and I broke up, which is she was my lover and my friend for 11 years, and we broke up as lovers. We broke up as business partners. Bad time for me. I'll take it again. I'll live through it again just to be in the game. Yeah. And I'm not saying that everybody wants to relive those bad days, but just embrace those moments as part of the process. Yeah. It's so hard, and I don't want to diminish anybody's loss. I don't want to diminish what anybody has experienced in their life. And I know that you have people have struggled, but just appreciate the fact that you're able to struggle. If you're bleeding, you're living.
Yeah, love it, love it, love it, love it. And so, Jay, I want to thank you, my man. I want to thank you. And as you came, saw, you showed up just like I knew you would. Love the passion, man. And so where can our viewers find you online?
Right now, so what I'm doing is I'm going back to personal training. I went to I drove around in that black truck for many years, and that's where I got Black House from. I had a black truck, and I went to people's houses. That's how I came up with Black House.
Got it.
I'm on Instagram on I am Jason Schroeder. I put out good information. I love. I'm not on there to be a fitness influencer or anything like that. I'm just on there because my members love to see me work out, and they like to see me struggle a little bit, I put out good content. I put out good information, stuff that's helpful. I post a lot of stuff about what I eat and my workout routines. I think it's inspiring to see people like me and you. You're 38.
38, yes. You're much better at posting than I am. I must say though, I'm quite terrible at it actually.
Darius, I'm not a social media guy. I'm in person. I like to be in person, but I know that I have a gift, and so do you. So I try and share it. What does Abdul say? Failure and expectations. I was told 3 years ago I wouldn't live today, let alone lose weight. I'm 1.5 pounds from losing a total of 200 pounds. So thank you. Yes, Abdul, good.
That's beautiful, man.
1.5 pounds from losing a total of 200. You could probably take your shoes off and lose 1.5 pounds, big boy. You got it. Darius and I could speak for Darius, and Darius could speak for me. We are not in fitness for the money. We're in it because we love helping people. It's our passion. Yes. We love doing what we do, man. I love seeing people like Abdul. Abdul, listen, just because we can't all be as ripped as Darius, I know it doesn't it doesn't mean that you're not fit. Abdul,
look how we spin it.
Brother. Keep pushing, Abdul. I mean that from the bottom of my heart, and I know that Darius feels the same way, brother. You fucking push, brother. You push. We all have struggles, and Darius hit the nail on the head. Your demons can be procrastination. They can be bad thoughts, negative thoughts, whatever it is. It's all demons. Just fight for the good, brother. That's it. Fight for the good.
Awesome. And Abdul, great to hear you. And really great to hear from you, Abdul, and great to hear the transformation that you have.
Yeah, that's cool.
Have taken on, man. Like keep pushing. That's like cool. Get back to middle ground however you need to, right? So Jay, any parting words with the people? I want to thank you for an hour of power, my man. I appreciate that.
I just want to say I don't really have anything to say other than I feel very lucky that you reached out to me, Darius. You came into the gym in Jersey City. I would have been open 4 years in March You came in a year after I opened, and how is JCF doing, by the way? How you guys doing?
We're doing okay. We made a transition to go full-time remote, and so we lost about a quarter of our membership.
Yeah.
Making that decision. So we're doing okay. A lot like you, man. I'm viewing this as part of the process. And like obviously that sucked because I lost some of my what I call my green bloods, my OGs, right? But I am really excited for the opportunity. Really excited about that. So yeah, it's been I don't think there's any entrepreneurship that's not without any trials and tribulations, and so our thing hasn't been excused from that, so but yeah, thanks for asking, man. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, man, I'm glad you're doing well, and I know that you were running a tight ship, and I forget the young lady that works with you that was at the cancer the fundraiser we had down there at the boardwalk.
Yeah, Coach Mel. She's no longer with JCL, but Coach Mel, yeah.
I remember you guys. That was a great day. We did that fundraiser. That was a great day.
So hopefully one day soon, man, we can be able to bring that back. Don't give a sweat.
If you ever don't give a sweat, that's right. If you ever do something like that, I'm in.
Awesome, man. We would love to have you. Absolutely, Jay, my brother. Thank you so much for your time, man. Per usual.
Thanks for having me, man. I feel lucky.
Awesome. Well, Jay, take care, man, and hopefully, you said Sunday. I'll hit you up to see if I can get to Fairfield and get one last throwdown if that's possible.
I would love for you to come. It's going to be a good one. If you got some time, come work out.
Okay, so I'll text you once we get off to get an idea of the schedule. Okay. All right, Jay. Thank you so much, my man.
All right, brother.
Take care. Yes, sir. All right, gang. I want to thank you all for tuning in, giving us your time. And as I said, I am your host, Coach Darius. Huge shout out to Big J is what they call him. Again, you guys can find him on I am Jason Schroeder on Instagram. We'll have that up right here. And gang, just thank you all for your time. Thank you all for the comments. Please, if you found this helpful, please share it, leave a comment. And that way we can all elevate and rise together, right? And so share this with your network. And so that way someone can hear this, whether there's someone that's struggling with anxiety, depression, whether someone is struggling with motivation, expectations, or just getting back on the saddle. And so if you find this helpful, please share this. And in the meantime, gang, if you are struggling with any of these things, okay, please reach out to us. If we can have our jcfextreme.as.me. And listen, there's a no obligation, what we call a fitness and nutrition strategy session. So we can talk about your goals. We can talk about the nutrition. We can talk about what you've struggled with in the past. So too many times we like to just get started without sort of confronting the things that have gotten us to this place initially. So we want to discuss those things. Make sure you have an action plan to leave there with. All right, gang. So again, jcfextreme.as.me. Gang, if you all have any questions, I will stay on for another minute and a half. If you have questions, please ask them. If no questions come in, I will stay on another 90 seconds. But as long as questions are coming in, I'll answer whatever you may have. All right. And don't forget to tune in next Thursday at 8:30 p.m. Okay, really excited to bring on our next guest. Okay, we're going to be bringing on Stacy Gillian. All right, out of DC next week. So make sure you tune in. Really excited to have her as well. All right. So thank you all for tuning in. You guys have a beautiful night. Take care, and we'll see you next week on the stream. All right. Bye-bye.